Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Before we start our day, 6 topics. Just wanted to check if you tried anything or you have any doubts. Or we can proceed with the new topics. On that day 5, we talked about what are the optional actions. Optional actions. Basically, it allows you to make additional actions on a case type apart from your primary flow. For example, where we took an example of cancelling an order, updating an address within the order itself. For example, if you make a purchase on the Amazon, suppose you are in the payment screen. In the payment screen, you want to make some update. Those things you can do through the optional actions, where you are not deviating from the primary flow, but at the same time, you are making some small changes by using some extra assignments. Those are the optional actions. Then we saw what are the different types of approval. There were 2 types of approval out there. One is single and second one is cascading. Again, cascading was subdivided into 2 parts. That is authority matrix and the reporting structure. Reporting structure. We have seen that in the operator ID, there is a reporting manager for every person. In the reporting structure, you don't have the flexibility to give the username to whom you want to pass the case for the approval, because it will automatically take from the reporting manager. But in the authority matrix, we have to pass the decision table with the username and email IDs. With respect to those email IDs, it will do that approval. Then we have seen the decision table. We have created one. Then skip the rule and we have to check automation shapes and child. I will try to add here itself because we just need to see what are the different automation sets. This is one way we can see what are the different kind of shapes we have. Other way would be we can open this process. Open process. Now you can click this plus icon, right? Plus icon is there. Flow shapes. Click on this one. These are the primary shapes. Assignment decision, sub-process utilities, start and end. Then automation. Let's go one by one. Attach content basically. It allows you to attach some PDF file images, URL or links to the case. If for example, if I use this one here, right? If I open this, let's see what we have. In attach content, you can see we have 3 types of options. Either we can attach a file, we can attach a link, or we can attach a node. Category will change. For example, if it is a file, it is a file. If it is a link, then category will be changed to URL. If it is a node, it will be changed to node. Then you can give the file name that you want to give. These are the only 2 configurations that you have to do. file name and attachment description. Similarly, if we see we have changed to stage, change to next stage. That means if you want to jump from your primary stage to the next stage, then you can use this stage. But if you want to give the stage explicitly from your side, it might be the last stage, the first stage, then you can use change to a stage shape. Then connect generative AI. This is introduced newly, but it is not there in the Person edition because it is a part of a crowd instance. Then create case. Suppose you want to create a case from a case. I'll write this one. You say inside this create case utility, we have two options. What kind of case want to create? Either we can create a case or we can create a child case. If you see, currently we have only one case type, that is insurance. Under case type, it is only showing insurance. But if I want to create a child case type, I can go to child case type and it is not showing anything because child is not yet created. Let's create one child case. I'll go here and click on three dots, add a child case type. I will name this as claims. Now the class will be Care Life Care App Work and Claims. Claims is created. For now, it has only one stage that is created. I'm not making a change here because I want to show you how this will work. I will save it. And now you can see we can expand and collapse insurance, and under insurance we have as claims child case. Now I close this one. From verified detail, I will link this to here. This I'll link to here. Now inside, I'll create a child case and I'll select I need to refresh. It's not giving me that name. Let's create one case. See, one is created. Now I'm going to create one child case. Child case. Now I'm showing claims. I'll select claims and then save it. Now let's create one case and let's see how it will work. Insurance. it was a disabled. I'll create from here then. Sub. Insurance after this. One child case should be created because we have placed the child shape after the insurance detail. If you see, we are in the collect detail. Collect detail inside. This personal detail is completed. Then insurance detail is completed. After that, child case should be created. Yes, you see C2 is coming now. Directly, we jumped on to the create part. If I complete this one, if I create this one, this case is completed. We can control this function directly through this one case time. And why we need child case time? Because suppose there are a lot of scenarios, for example, again e-commerce only. In e-commerce, we have a lot of categories. There is an electronics category. There is a clothing category. Inside clothing, we have menswear, we have a menswear. Childwear is there. Then, there are a lot of different e-commerce categories, right? What we can do is we can create a male case type. After that, we can create a child case type of different categories. For example, one case type for clothing, one case type for electronics, one case type for food items, one for grocery. Like that, we can divide our application that it is easy for maintain, because if anything new we have to introduce, and wherever it is applicable, we can introduce in the same case type rather than we have to modify the existing, the primary path which will affect everything. Right. This is the kind of a scenario where we have to use child case. And one more thing. One more example is, for example, when you started a process. In the middle of the process, you want to deviate it for certain functionality. For example, let's say onboarding. When a person is onboarded to a company, we have to assign a new laptop, a new asset, a new ID card, right? A place in the office. Those people usually controlled by the admin department. We can create a case, a child case, let's say admin. Admin, basically, once we will complete the basic detail, that means we have captured the employee who is getting onboarded. The basic details we have captured. After that, we will create an admin case in the second stage, where the admin team will be notified who is joining the company, when he will join, and what are the details needed. For example, we need ID card, we need a laptop, we need a space. Those things they can work. Right. They have a different case type. Separate team is there. Once they will complete again, we can go to the primary flow. It is a child. Makes sense. That makes sense. We have seen child case. Let's cover the rest of the, and I rate this one because it is not required for us. Then we can create a PDF. After I get PDF, you can create from many things. We can create a PDF from the section rule. For example, let's give this section. If I go to view, personal detail, we will generate a PDF. Personal detail, I'll select PDF file name. personal details. Portrait is a PDF orientation. Now I will attach this here. And I will link this one to the insurance detail. Why I am doing like this? Because in order to generate the PDF, we need personal detail data. And the data we are capturing at first step, right? At this step we are capturing. Once the data is captured, then it will generate a PDF. And then we will go to the insurance detail. Let's see this now. Save the case type also here. I need to fill these things. I will submit now. What happened? Non-file type attachment category. It is giving that file type category we have not provided. That's why it is not picking them. Let's go to the shape again. I have category. Let's say we will give. See how PEGA Smart is? Like even we miss something, it will tell us that we have not provided this thing. I'll create a new case then. You see it is generated now. It is showing one. If I expand this part, personal detail. And if I can download it from here or I can directly click. You see PDF is generated. For example, I'll create case again. Currently, you see under files and documents, no item is there. It's 0. I'll fill things again. And submit now. You see, this time it is 1. It is updated. This is how the Create PDF automation shape works. Then we have a general document. The way we have generated our PDF, same way we can generate a Word document. Then persist case. Let's suppose sometime there are situations when you don't want to save the case details directly into the DB. At the same time, the user makes the change. For example, booking a movie ticket. Right. If you know simultaneously 100 people can try to book a same seat. Correct. But we cannot persist the data into the TV. At the same time, any user start working on the particular seat. Correct. Once the payment is confirmed, then only we can say yes, that particular seat is booked. At that time, we will save the data to the database. Suppose you and me both starts booking the same seat at the same time. If we are persisting case directly from the beginning, then it will create issue because you will make the payment. I'll make the payment, but we are not sure who will get the particular seat. Right. But if whoever will do the payment first, then only we will do the persist case. That means then only we will save the data till the time it will be our temporary data which will be stored in the local system. This is our persist case. Save database, load database. We can ignore. This is a part of a CSSA course. Post to pulse. This we can see. This is like a social media, basically chat purpose. If you see, if you want to send a message at any point, I've come to someone, right? That we can type. Either we can add it through a shape. For example, let's say I'll add it here. Basically, it's an automated message that you want to send it to any user. Post to pulse. That means pulse is a feature like a social media, like a Facebook or Instagram, where you can post something. You are posting to pulse feature. And what we are posting? We are just posting a message X message. You see, this is a pulse. This here either. I can do like at the rate. If you have your ID Francis right, I can mention at the references. I can check. I can ask for the status. Is your story completed? Then I can post it because I tagged you here. You will get the poster. You see transit story completed. I can like and comment. You can also comment within the same thread. And this is like a dynamic part. But if I manually want to control this thing, I can do it through the shape. You see S is added directly. This test is added through the shape. This one. Because for this message I have to tag here, but this one was automatically added. This is post to pulse. Now you see we have two types of modes. First is a visible to everyone. That is a public post. Second one is a private post which will be visible to the person who is tagged. Let's see. Others share. Then push notification. Notification is like suppose if this particular case routed to you for approval. You will need to be informed, right? That this particular case is assigned to you and you have to complete it in 2 days. That you can do through the notifications here. Let's see what other options we have. You have to give a notification name. That's it. That is the only rule that you have to get. The post test notification. These are nothing but rule types. Basically, it has two types of notification. Either it will notify you in your portal or it will give you an email. If I give operator ID type, channels now, default section. I mean the screen that it will show you for the notification, that is the by default which is provided in our base application, which is this one. Then if you are using mobile also, then it will enable right. It will push through the mobile. Email is also enabled. I'll save this. operator does not exist. Let's say I'll add the equal. It will take an operator, ID. It is safe, but it will not throw notification here because we are in the test today. It will only throw in the portal. Let's try that. But this is the way you have to do the configuration. Basically, we have to create a notification rule and you have to give the notification name and the operator, ID. And if it is an email, then you can give the email, ID. Email ID will be an email address, right? See, if it is only a single email, then you have to give like this. In the double quotes because it's a string. And will it accept the list as well? If it is a list, then you have to give it the property because if you see in the case you can dynamically pass this personal letter property email. Would that be a dictionary or like this? It will pick whatever the email ID is there in this property. It has a notification. Let's see the pending automation. It is not configured. That's why it is not showing. I'll delete this one. Add automations. These we already see. This is not required. Update a case. That means if you want to update the case status, it is like people you don't use this. It is frequently used. Approver we already saw. Then duplicate cases. Suppose I created this I6 or N6, right? Where I pass certain type of personal detail. I pass my name, pass my phone number, email address. Suppose if you want to restrict a single user to create multiple cases of the same data. There we can use a duplicate check shape where we have to pass some parameter. For example, if name, first name, last name and mobile number. If these things are same, then it will check for the any existing case. If existing case is there, then it will not allow you to create new case. Makes sense. Let's see what are the different options we have. It's duplicate case. You see on current page. This will be same. I mean that is the only configuration we have. That's it. And it will check automatically. If you see one more thing, it's a cool stuff. I'll just show you. It's a PEGA out of the box shape. Correct. And if I want to see how PEGA designed this, the internal architecture, I can click on this plus icon. And this is the internal architecture. It might be complex to understand, but it is what it is. I'll remove this PDF also. It's not required. I'll delete this. Now let's talk about the list data, because till now we are only talking about the single fields, right? We are talking about the first name, the last name, the address and email address, phone number. All these are single fields. At the time we have to pass an array. We have to pass a list of users. For that, PEGA provides us a concept of page list and page group. Let's say we have a page list. Now, as the name suggests, pages is basically a list of pages. Then we have one more page group. That means group of pages. Then we have one more concept. That is value list. That is list of values and value group. That is group of values. Now let's understand both of them through example. Let's first see a group. Let's take an example of address. Let's consider address is a page group property. That means you have already created address of certain class. Now inside address, you have street, city, state, country and zip code. When we say page group, that means we have to group this list property using some constant word. For example, that constant word can be address of home, address of work. You see, then we pass a subscript. That is the group because we are grouping a property which is off page. That means address is the page inside address. We have 5 individual properties which can be repeated. State, city, state, country code, and it will be unique with respect to this group identifier which is home and address. And if I make this as a page list, suppose if same thing is page list now instead of page list, then it will be address 1 and address 2. Then it will be stored like this. Now there are certain situations where you have to use page group and other situations where you have to use page list. For example, address is majorly a page group type because you can identify which address is home, which address is work. And if there is any correspondence address, that also you can go like address bracket correspondence. But if you want to see the actor directory, you have to maintain a list of all the employees working in organization. There might be thousands of users. A page list makes more sense. Then it will be like employee 1, employee 2. Like this it will go for employee 1000. This is the page list. You are able to understand it. And each employee will consist of certain data like first name, last name. Isn't that almost like a function, or it's not? No, it is not a function. It's a basically property because at the end, the data will be saved behind it. Right. Because function is not used to save the data. They are used to perform some operations. For example, if you want to calculate the sum, to that as a function. If you want to calculate anything percentage or any operations on arrays list, those are the functions. But these are the page list properties and the page group properties, where we are grouping the property based on certain subscript that we're passing here or the index. And in the list it will be in an ordered way. It is ordered by, it is an unordered manner. Now let's take the value list. The address can't be a value list because if you see inside address, we have state, city, state, country, zip. Because it is a type page. Within the page, you can add different individual properties. But within the value list, that means it's a value. It can't be multiple. It can be only single. What we can do is we can create for multiple properties not allowed. It will be like phone or phone. Phone or phone. It is an unordered list of value where it is a value, single values there where we are grouping it using some identifier work or home. Second one is value list. Suppose value list we have to. Suppose you are not denoting this as. Suppose you are not using all these individual 5 properties for address. You are just maintaining only one text field. Address. Then it will be like address of 1. Address of where address is the text field. Where let's say this is the address. The law. Now tell me any doubt you have because this is kind of a bit tricky to understand. For the first thing, I think I get. That's right. I'll just repeat it just to make understanding more clear this last time. Let's say whenever it is value, it will be a single property. Phone, email, first name, last name. Those are single property. That means they won't repeat it within the list. Right now, if it's a group, that means it's an unordered way and we have to pass identifier. But if I say, that means it is an ordered list that is 1, 2. And value means single property. It might. It is addressed for now, but it can be anything as per the requirement. Now, if I'm talking about a page, that means there is a page, let's say. For here we have address. Address is a page which contains 5 individual properties. That means this page can be repeated. I can repeat this whole page multiple times now because it is a group. That means it need identified here home or work, which is of unordered. But if I say page list, that means we have a property, which is of type page list which contain individual property. But because it is a list, that means it needs to be in an ordered way. For example, the employee records. Let's create this once and see how it will come up. Let's go to personal details. Now I'll show you the section rule also at the same time, because we have to deep type down. Open process. Process from here. Personal details. But till now, whatever we are doing through the view. Right. We are just going to the view here and we are adding the personal details. We are going and then we are adding a field. But some of you want to make a very good UI, like very interactive UI. But you don't have those options here, right? You can only feed the add field, delete field, configure it only optional, mandatory. That's it. You can't get CSS, you can't get table, you can't get pictures, you can't get Google Map and all those stuff. Those things will be available inside the section rule, which is the same thing. It just that is an extended version of the view. Let's open this connector. It is a flow action. This we discussed last time that within the process there is one flow. This is a flow. Process is nothing but flow inside the flow. We have flow actions of each assignment inside flow action. We have sections. First, we have a process/flow which is referenced by a flow action which is referenced by a section rule which is the ultimate UI we are showing to the end user. I'll open the section rule. Let's give it a minute to open. You can see this line. This section is configured using the view editor. That means this configured using the view of our case type. As of now, it is a very limited access. But if I want to gain the full access, then I can click to convert to the full section editor. We are going to do this. But we have to wait a little bit. You know, it's time. Let's see if I can open other. Insurance detail. This one is small. I think it is open. I'll click on convert to full section. Editor. It is asking for the confirmation. Would you like to report this template? I'll submit. Basically, this is the view. But now we have some advanced features here. And once, as an example, inside the guts, we can add controls like autocomplete, multi-select, checkbox dropdown, radio button sliders. We can have some buttons, link menus attached, content option within the screen, because when I showed you into this case type, I showed you in the case. But if you want to attach something, within this you can say the section of an assignment, then you can do it through this attached content, then the display. We have some text labeled paragraph, image, chart, video. And my map, the Google map you can attach. Structure. If you see, these are the different kinds of layout that PEGA provide. Layout is basically a container. Within the container, you can put your fields, for example. If you see, this is a dynamic layout. Right. And in the bracket, you can see stack is mentioned. That means these fields that you are adding, it will come in a stacked way. They're still loading this quite heavy, I guess. Then, if I go to this gear icon, if you see, the layout format is stacked. If I change this to inline grip double, that means it will be in the segmented form now. You see, it is changed. If I go again, and if I change this, let's say, in the others also pack up, provide a lot of inline labels left. You see, now the labels are in the left side. These are some out-of-the-box options through which you can control the UI, which is only possible inside the section rule. I'll make it stack again. Let's create a page group property. Let's go to App Explorer. In the insurance class, I right-click Create Data Model property. Let's say I'll create a disk. This is fine. We can open. This takes. I change here to page group. Now in page group, it is asking for a page definition. Page definition is nothing but a class where your single properties exist. I'll give the same class. This insurance. Now in this class, I have to create those single property, that's create city zip code, because I'm giving this reference right. I'll expand this one. Let's see if we have those address details here. Yes, we have. And there's one address to these things at that. But country state is not there. Let's create. I'll save as this one. I'll rename it to save. and zip codes. We have created 4 new properties. Any doubt, Francis, you're getting till now? The main point that you have to focus here is we have created an address property of type page group. We have provided this class. Why this class? Because we have to access straight state country zip code properties. That I mean using these things only. We are providing. These new properties exist in this structure. Here, like your app work-insurance. Insurance is this one. That's why we are giving this definition. That is the only point here. Now I'll save this. Let's close. I'll close everything. Let's see, personal detail is still learning. I wanted to add here, but it is taking a lot of time. Nobody's done. Let's say I add one more dynamically out here. It is a type default. I will change the layout format to inline grid double. Now I will add 2 more dynamically out. One inside this one and another one inside. Now let's say I'll open the 2.1. I'll add to the header. In the header, I'll add like 4 matters. When I add a title here, it will be visible on this part. Same one. I will add one address. Now I have to add fields here. I created some fields. I need to put data capture text input. I need somewhere around 5 text field, I guess. I'll change this to stack, that it will come in a stack. Either I can go to data capture, I can drag and drop. Or I can simply do copy and paste. Right click, we can copy, and right click, we can paste. This also we can copy or we can. Or I'll put it from here. This one is one extra. Make I need to add. Let's rename them. First, export the hazy property. Let's say that's street. But we can't give it directly because it is a single property. We have to use the page group here. What we have to do, let's suppose we add it not straight. Then you go back and you add one more. Add address. And after address you can give. See now, because you are giving home, that means across all the properties you have to give home only. Otherwise it will throw an error. Let's say I'll copy or I'll submit. This is street is coming here now. Let's say this one. I'll go back. Home state label value C state is coming. This is fine. This one I will make as a country, 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 country. Address. This one. This one is ready. Now same set of properties we are going to use for work address. But where the difference will come in passing. For example, this is also a street. But this will be of type. Here you can pass anything. It's not like you have to only pass work. You can pass A, B, C. It's just you have to keep it in sync across the fields. Dot this one and make state. This one is country. And this is last one as simple. See, if you want to give you a different label, also you can give. Like you can uncheck this default label and you can give anything if you will put a default. It will take it from the property. These are very small options like default value. You want to give placeholder helper text. Anyway, you can understand them when you start working on these things. This is also neat. I'll delete these two. I'll save this. Let's preview once. Go to action and we can preview. You see how it is coming. Home address is there, work address is there, and you can give individual data. Now let me see if personal detail is still noted. Oh my god. This is the kind of section. This is not loading. Is it because it's cloud? Is it cloud? And also lot of things we have added right in the view itself. You see here. The personal details. Feels that much higher as of now. Maybe that's why I'll delete some of them. I'll add it later over there. And we can check. And we can close it. I need to save this once. Personal details. Let's see. Now it has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields. But anyways, as of now, we already added in insurance data. Let's create one case and verify. Personally, because we have removed a couple of fields. This time we have only these options. I'll submit now. And now in the insurance detail, apart from the insurance type, you see why this is coming in the stack form, because if I go to the section, you see this is a dynamic layout of type stack. Stack, and we have only two things here. Insurance type description. These are coming in the stack way. After that we have one more dynamic layout, which is of inline grid double. That means whatever I will add inside this dynamic layout to it will be in the segmented form 50-50. That's why the first half is home address. Second half is work address. Home address contains 4 fields. Work address contains 4 fields. Now I'll go to case. You see, same way. We have a dynamic layout which is subdivided into 2 dynamic layout. Home address, work address with individual detail. Let's say I'll pass everything. I'll pass some random detail. Let me make it different. Now I'll save it. It is saved. Suppose you want to see how exactly it is getting saved. As of now, just want to introduce this backend part of PEGA. Basically, we deal with all the data which you see here, whatever we are entering, whatever is happening. All the data is saved inside this small icon known as clipboard. It is a very vast topic. That's why I just wanted to give you a glimpse here and we can understand it data in detail. You have to ignore the rest of these things. Take whatever you're seeing. Just ignore. Let's see. Also, you can understand that there are 4 categories of clipboard: user pages, data pages, link property page, and system pages. Again, we will see these things in detail later point of time. But for now, I want you to just see this. I can go to this Why Work page. If you see Why Work page is basically a case page. It doesn't matter what you create. You create insurance, you create e-commerce, you create any other case type. Every time, the case type detail will be only found in the constant page called PY Work page. It is out of the box page. This name will never change. It will always be PY Work page and you will find this page inside the user pages. For now, we just need to remember that all the case detail will be available inside the user pages in the PY Work page. These are the individual fields. You see, auto insurance is coming, application, who created the case. All these are saving at the back end the case ID label. If I want to see the address right, because I entered the address also, I can expand this one and you see one address is there. You can expand this and you see address of work, address of home. You're able to delete it right. I give you like address, then class, then individual properties, then address home, individual properties. This is the same thing. You see address identifier, then expand this or you can click on this. You will get those individual properties. Inside address of work, I have added these things. And it is a form. We have added these things. Here you might have a question that why this is inside this PY work page. Do you have any idea why this is inside this PY work page? Address, why is it is not there here? You want to guess, the class is same, right? That is because it's a page, right? PY work page is a page. It will only hold single properties. Single properties you can show within the page. You see action flow index, action flow key age address. These are single properties. It will be there on the single page. But address is not a page, right? It is a page group. And this page group is inside the case. That's why it is within the PY work page. And again we have two addresses. That's why address is 2. And why I'm not seeing the fields on collapsing. Because if I click on this page, then I can see single properties. Only single properties you will see on this area of the page. Makes sense? It makes sense. If you see here, if it is a page group, that's why you can see multiple individual properties. But if it was of a value list, then it can only have one value. Either it can have country, can have state, only one because it's a value group. That is the only difference. And if it was a page list, then instead of work, it was 1. Instead of home, it was 2. It was an ordered list. Here, I just wanted to see how the backend is distributed in PEGA. I don't want you to hear me take too much steps on this part because we'll see this in a separate session where we are talking about the clipboard. But for now, we just need to remember that all the case details will be available inside PY work page. Everything will happen inside PY work page, which is available in the user pages. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.